Again, I told you we wouldn't have to wait too long before we were back doing what I'd say doing what we do best, but that probably isn't quite right. Doing what we love doing, though, certainly. So here we are back with FRL on a Sunday. It's not strictly GT3 Sunday. We know that season has finished. But what we do have, we've just got to embark on a short, if you like, British GT challenge. Yep. So we're going to have five races across the next 5 weeks until the update, and then we'll obviously see where we lie after the update. Who's on PS4? Who's on PS5? Who could do cross-play? And we'll go from there. So quick run through. Obviously, I'm going to host tonight. COMMS by Coops, as always, for FRL. We will run through drivers. There are no teams in this championship, which is even more interesting. We'll touch on that shortly. And of course, we will have a look at a track guide and get everybody up to speed. So before we go anywhere and do that, we do have to do probably one of the favourite parts of the show, and that is to have our driver interview. Now, this week, we've got a chap joining us this week who was going to do it previously and did try to do it previously, but had some issues with tech. But he has assured me that all is good. Today we're going to have a chat with Hutch. Hello, Hutch. You there, mate?
Hello.
How are you?
Hopefully your listeners can hear me this time.
Well, I'm just going to put it on the stream and I'm going to listen to see if you're in. We've got 4 people watching, so hello everyone. Lurchies is in. Oh, you're under pressure now, Hutch. You've already got an audience.
Hi Lurchies, how you doing?
He probably won't talk to you, but Lurchies watches every week, so he is.
Let's just hope he can type that he can hear me. That's
oh no, Georgie Priest is in. He says, yeah, we can hear him. Right, okay,
good.
So what was that song you wanted to sing for us at the start of the show, Hutch? What was it?
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
And there we go, everyone, you see.
And that's just for Paul, and here he is now. His pink.
Yeah, in his pink Jag, yeah. He does love Pink. I wonder if he's got a lot of albums of hers. That's showing my age. But right, so Hutch, obviously, for the entirety of the GT3 Sundays, all I did was talk about you and 7th place. Yeah.
Well, if I can be 7th tonight, I'd be very happy.
You would be happy because there's some good competition in here tonight, isn't there?
Yep. It's I mean, the standard has gone up so quick from like I used to be like a regular top 5 finisher, and then all these aliens appeared, and
they did.
Sorry, I'm going to go in the pits because I can't talk.
I was going to say that. I could hear you driving, and I was just going to go on to you and say, look how skilled this guy is. But whilst we're having a chat, he's not a patch on you, mate. Not a patch on you. No chance. Whilst we're having a chat, I'm just going to actually go on to Michael and watch him, so everyone can have a look at the guy who's currently sitting top, who's just thrown it off the track. That's guaranteed. So everyone can say.
Oh, he's in his Keddy's livery, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I think he's. I don't know how much he's driven the Macca before. I think quite a lot. I think he does like that car, so that could be quite ominous tonight.
He's done well in the Merc, so if he likes this one better.
Yeah, but the thing is though, Hutch, he gets all of his setups from me. No, I'm not joking. I have a deal. He pays me a lot of money to do his setups. No, he doesn't. Nothing really. I'm just trying to
go for a second there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to reach out to his audience to get some more people watching the show. That's my plan. But
don't know why you got me on there.
No, nor do I. But hey, we've all got. No one else wanted to do it.
But I'm happy anyway. I'm sitting 5th at the moment, so.
Good. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the race. So Donington, how much experience have you had racing at Donington?
Just any races the FRL have done here in GT. Yeah, I've been here. Yeah, probably at least 4 or 5 proper races. Yeah,
and do you like it as a track?
Yeah, some of us, the admin team, went to Donington last year to watch the GT racing too.
Yeah, I love Donington.
The track.
Yeah, me too. Amazing. I think I've been going to Donington. Well, obviously when it obviously had that period of time when it stopped, but I've been going to Donington since I was about 16. and I do.
Michael there, didn't you?
No, I didn't. No, but I mean, hey, I tell you what, Hutch, right? Anybody, if you could pick somebody on the grid that you want me to focus on, yeah, with the curse, you just let me know, all right? Because you're the featured driver today. I'm not going to curse you.
Definitely, it's going to have to be Gamer Dad.
I knew you were going to say that. Okay, fine, right. Your
and maybe
your
a
wish.
bit of Chica as well.
Okay. Your wish is
you picked on him at Imola, and he drove like a hero.
I know he did. I like the way you say picked on him. I like that.
It's just all through the free practice you were just on his car. Constantly.
Yeah, I know. It is quite funny though, because everyone I do seem to look at on the circuit, they do die, and that's not what we want. I want to show everyone how good you all are, but...
Well, you can look at me, because it'll give me an excuse for why I died.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, alright, fair enough. We'll look at that.
I'll take any excuse I can get right now.
Okay, right, traction's in. Traction, see, look, you boys should be driving, not typing and driving. Traction's saying good luck to everyone. Yeah, I think I'm going to focus. Yeah, I will do that. I'll focus on Gamer Dad, a little bit of Chica, and
you won't be able to miss him, to be fair, in that pink.
I don't know.
Pink cat of his.
He's brave. He is brave. I'll give him that. I watched a couple of his practice laps earlier on, and she doesn't seem that wild on him at the moment. But I don't know how much he was pushing. But I mean, the Jag sounds amazing, but I don't know if I would be picking her.
Out, though. I gave him the task of the Nissan, and I think he didn't really get on with it in the first race, and then he just got these setups and absolutely smashed it. Yeah,
he did very well in the Nissan. But anyway, we don't care about him. You're going to smash it in the Ferrari, yeah. You're going to absolutely smash it in the Ferrari today. And if you do die,
by smash it, you mean top 10.
Yeah,
good.
That's all. That's what you got to aim for, isn't it? Top 10 is a good shout. Okay, mate. I'll let you get back to putting. You might get 2 or 3 more laps in, so I won't hold you up. But thank you for coming back on. Yeah,
no, and it's mate, and
it's good.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure speaking to you.
No problem. Everyone in Liverpool are rooting for you, mate. They're up there. They're all like, "Come on, Hodge!" Or however.
Come on, La. You're
Come
right,
on.
La.
Yeah, that's it, La. That's it. That's the one. That's the one, La.
Calm down.
Mate, we're not going back that far, surely. Right. Anyway, you crack on, buddy. Best of luck.
Cheers, Coops. See you later, mate. Thank you.
I'll see you later on. Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Bye. There you go. What an awesome interview that was. Yeah, Hutch was all like in a little bit of trepidation about doing that, but no need. What a cheery chap. Really nice guys, Hutch, and he does an awful lot for FRL. He's one of the admin guys, and he's always involved. So if anybody needs any help, obviously you can ask all of us, but Hutch will also definitely help you guys out. So, right, let's get back to what we're doing here. So we've had a good chat with Hutch. Obviously he likes brands, we know that. He's in the Ferrari. That's the car that I've used most around here, and as I said, she can be a little bit leery, so he is going to need to keep a close eye on her. I know he said to me before we did the interview in free practice, I spent the last hour in here watching people doing the free practice sessions when it was just sort of pretty much Michael, Chica and the Dark Horror earlier on, and yeah, it's interesting to see the evolution of these cars through the last hour, which you guys will obviously get to see the culmination of that with qualifying and the race. So you're all very, very lucky, really. So, as I mentioned before, we have a 5-race series. I'll just run through that with you. So, we're going to be here today at Donny, then we're going to go to Donington Park next week. The week after that, we'll be at Snetterton, and then Brands, and then we'll finish it off, obviously, at the amazing Silverstone, which everybody loves. They should do anyway. The home of British motorsport, however, it is not. Well, I know it is, but it actually isn't, because this place is. Donington is the oldest racetrack in the UK, believe it or not. If you don't know that, look it up. But yeah, Donny's seen some great racing over the years, and I'm sure we're going to get some today. Race format today will also be different from the regular viewers who are used to seeing qualifying race 1, qualifying race 2. So for this, what we have is a 15-minute qualifying session followed by a full hour race. So we do have a mandatory stop. Let's go on board with Hutch. I know I said I wouldn't curse him, but hey, we've got to have a look at him in his Ferrari. We've got a mandatory stop today, which is slightly different from normal because you have to take fuel. And in this game, when you take fuel, you're normally looking at 25 seconds, whereas if you take tyres and fuel, you're normally then looking at 30 seconds, assuming no damage. So we've put this little quirk in, which I think will open up some interesting strategies in terms of, do you pit just for fuel? Okay, it's an hour's race. Are the tyres going to last an hour? Don't know. We'll wait and see. So do you pit for fuel and take a 25-second stop, and then run the risk of the last probably 15 to 18 minutes of the race dealing with tyre wear? Or do you pit for the full 30 seconds and take the tyres with the fuel? So you're losing 5 seconds in the pit stop, but you're going to have then a nice fresh set of tyres to get to the end of the race. I know. We do like to mix it up, so I'm going to be very keen to keep an eye on that and see exactly where and what people do in those pit stops. So it takes a little wander there. Let's have a quick look in the live chat. So we do have quite a few in tonight, which is great to see. Again, Georgie Priest is in there, Traction Dave's in there, and Lurch is saying, can't see King of the Hills. Where is he tonight? I don't know, mate. I don't know where he is. I will double check that in a minute for you, Lurchies. It's all part and parcel of what we're going to do. So we've looked at the format, we've looked at the potential strategies there, and we've looked at what is going to happen going forward. Now, generally in FRL, we're quite team biased. Yeah, we do like people to buddy up with someone as a teammate because it's part of the community. You're going to get to know them, you're going to drive with them, you're going to practice with them, obviously you're going to bond with them and sort of build those relationships. And with the amount of different types of racing we have going on, it's really, well, it's fantastic. It just builds that camaraderie between everybody, and I mean everybody, within the Discord. So this is a bit different. The powers that be sat there and thought, let's do a short sprint series to take us to the update, because we don't want people getting bored and twiddling their thumbs, do we? Of course we don't. How can we spice that up a little bit? How can we change the format around? And I think Crazy's thrown this little hand grenade in, and when it exploded and the dust settled, it said individual championship, every man for himself. Now, I'm hoping that brings out the best in everybody, because it will showcase them individually. There's no team points involved with this. Everybody's fighting for themselves. And also, it will show that competitiveness, I think, just a little bit more, because we're not thinking now about, hey, can I help my teammate? Can I get, for instance, GT3 Sunday, Triple X Motorsport, Gamer Dad and King of the Hills, can we get both of us consistently in that top 10 for points? None of that. This is just, let's do it, let's go for it. So, we'll see how that unfolds. Let me just pop in here and have a little look. Oh, don't forget, we do have our competition, of course. Don't you guys worry about that. And I think I've got quite an interesting one for you tonight. Okay, so we have got Crazy's, IR Graham. So Crazy's in the Aston, IR Graham's in the Merc. Gamer Dad, as we all know, he likes to drive a pink car. He does call himself the Pink Warrior. He's in a pink Jag, so you're not going to miss out, folks. Hutch is in the Ferrari. Georgie Priest, who's not with us tonight, unfortunately, he's got about 58 million things going on at home, so he's missing tonight. He's also in a Ferrari. Lely's in the Bentley. Traction's in the McLaren. Michael Races is in the McLaren. The Dark Horror, whose name is also Michael, he is down as Bentley. Raikkonen, who I've been really impressed with over the last couple of weeks, having watched him raced, he's come out of the Bentley and he's going for a new challenge in the Ferrari. And again, earlier on when he was trying to do his practice and stuff like that, I know he was, well, let's just say, I mean, we all struggle, don't we, for track time. We've got, if you've got kids and family and, equipment, i.e. one PlayStation, 1,500 people in a house. So I think, I certainly think Raikkonen was having to, I wouldn't say fight, but he was having to make sure he put himself forward for his time on the PS. Fresh Brazil is new to me, so welcome Fresh Brazil. Is going to be in I think the Aston. I think Chica's in the Merc. Good luck, Chica. Euphoric State is at Hutch with needs a new paint job. Euphoric State's in the Porsche. Marty Road Racing, who's not with us tonight, unfortunately, would be in the Beamer. Nelio's in the Ferrari. Marek Mariola is in the Beamer. I Am Slow, remember what we called him last week. Let's hope he can stay in this week, because I think he had some connection issues last week. Let's go on with GT Jamie, he's out on track. So I Am Slow, the controller, he's in the McLaren. And then Spacey, it was good to see him. He hasn't been in for a few weeks, but was really, really quick last time he was in. Is in the Bentley. And then we've got GT Jamie, who's in the Lambo. Okay, so that's where we're at with the guys and everybody that is involved in the race today as GT Jamie pulls over. So let's go on board with Macatron. Macatron, I believe, is a reserve that's sitting in this evening. But hey, it's great to see the reserves again. You know, we always have lots of them waiting. One of the chaps who was reserved for tacos last week, Kino DJ, he absolutely loved it, and you know, fortunate or not fortunate, one of our other drivers couldn't make it this Tuesday coming because of work commitments, and I've offered him a seat back in there because he actually did really well. As we move into qualifying, track has just, it's a fast track at the moment, which is good for everybody. Ambient is 21, track temp is 25, so they're asking for fast times, aren't they, really? Let's go on board with IR Graham. We all know Graham's quick, and he loves that Merc. I don't think I've ever seen Graham drive anything other than the Merc, but hey, when he keeps getting those results, he doesn't need to, does he? So, whilst Graham's coming round on his outlap, let's do Coops competition, shall we? Okay, this is a mainstay, and everybody loves it, I think. If you don't, let me know. If you do, let me know. Either way is all good. Today's question is going to get all your brains really thinking, okay? And I'm not going to give you too much of, I'm not going to give you too many clues on this one. Sir Lewis Hamilton, his birthday is on the 7th of January, and he shares his birthday with a very, very famous sports commentator. Okay, so the question is a simple one. Can you tell me the name of the sports commentator that Sir Lewis Hamilton shares his birthday with? Alright, as always, whoever comes up with the correct answer is going to get a completely free setup from me. If you want dry, if you want wet, I don't care what track it is, I don't care what car it is. Okay, so that's what we need to do tonight. I'll wait for the answers to come in. He said to me once he can't be bothered doing liveries and loved the Merc. Yeah, well, that's all good, Lurchies, that's all good. He does love the Merc and he's good in it. So, just a quick reminder of the question. Sir Lewis Hamilton shares his birthday with a very famous sports commentator. Can you give me the name of that sports commentator? Alright, free setup, any car, any track. Okay, so, let's get into some action while you guys get the grey matter working on that. So, Graham's now on his quick lap. Let's take a different view so we can look at some of the lines that he's taken here. So we will do, obviously, a full lap guide when the moment allows. Donington, as I say, Donington as a circuit, it's had, wow, it's had many amazing races. I remember standing there when I was little watching British touring cars, right down by Redgate and Hollywood, where they had the Jason Plato stands there, and you know, the atmosphere was fantastic there. And obviously we always love to see the planes coming over and wonder if they're going to land on the track. That's always another consideration, especially with our, well, I say our, I don't live there, you know, the East Midlands weather. Although it looks okay as IR Graham comes over the line, he sets his first time. That's a 128.9 from Graham. So in free practice, Michael was running the pace in free practice, so he was, I think he was sort of 28.2. So that's not a bad effort there from Graham. Oh, crazy, it's just gone with a 28.5. So he seems to be making that Aston work. That's interesting. And then Gamer Dad comes over in that pit. Look at that, a pink Jag, look at it. A pink Jag. You're not going to miss him, are you, folks? Look at that. Honestly, I don't know if he's colourblind. She sounds beautiful though. Okay, let's find someone who's going to start a quick lap. We'll do ourselves a little lap guide. Who's coming through there? 20th. No, not Michael. 60. Macatron. And then we've got 55 coming through. That's Chica. Let's go on board with Chica. No commentator's curse. I just want to do a track guide. So we're coming up to Redgate, which is a right-hander. So you want to pretty much get into the pit lane here, drop it down 2 gears into second, get it turned in, get on the power early, and drift out wide as we come over the top of Hollywood, and then the famous Craner curves. You want to be tight on the right-hand side, then you want to flick it left. You want to cut this curve just enough, and then we're going to wait. We're going to look on the right-hand side for the board, drop it down 2 gears, turn her in, straight on the power. That corner is going to catch a lot of people out there as we go into Starkey's Bridge and then up towards Swant's curve. You want to pretty much take that curve on the brakes now, down 2, turn her in as we go through McLean's. Again, the camber on that corner is going to cause people to have twitchy back ends as we go into Coppice. Again, you want to cut that. You need to be on the power as early as possible through there because we've got the run down this straight towards the Fogarty S's, but you don't want to be cutting that too much or getting the power too quickly. Down to 3rd in the Merc, cut that as much as you want. Normally there's a little tyre barrier thing there, but obviously that's going to disappear very quickly as we come down to the Melbourne hairpin. On the left hand side there, just before that last board, you want to get on the brakes. You need to trail hard into this corner and get on the power. We then want to push it wide on the run up to the hill as we go into Goddard's, left hand hairpin just before the Pirelli, on the brakes down to 2nd, probably 1st now, and then on the power nice and early. Nice Chica as we get onto the Wheatcroft straight to start a new lap. And Chica, see, that wasn't a curse, a 27.7. Lovely lap there from Chica, well done. So Chica setting the pace. IR Graham not far behind him, 1.5 tenths. Oh, wow, I said that at the wrong time, didn't I? Because IR Graham's just gone provisional pole, 3 thousandths quicker than Chica. 2 Mercs sitting at the top there. Is that going to tell us anything? Who knows? So who else has just crossed the line? Crazy still running in 3rd place. Let's come off this view. Okay, we'll keep that view on. So Crazies is currently running in 3rd place, a good 7.5 tenths behind, which is a huge gap. Traction, Dave's currently in 4th. It's a good effort from him. Traction hasn't been in for all of the practice session, so we'll see how he gets on as we continue through that lap there. No one's even on Traction. Okay, I'll get off him. He blamed me the other day. I didn't see that Traction. Traction a little off there. So GT Jamie, he's in the Lambo. We'll keep an eye on how he's getting on as he comes down into the Melbourne hairpin. It's a nice line through there as we'll on our way up towards Goddard's. Again, the camber there, because it drops away from you. You know, at the beginning of that corner, it's going to try to pull you wide, but if you can get yourself hooked in on that, you can easily use the throttle to keep the car balanced. So GT Jamie, I think he just improved a little bit there, but no change at the top, so still currently IR Graham and Chica. As Chica goes through the old hairpin. What an amazing track. This is one of my favourite tracks, without a shadow of a doubt. I'd say it's up there with, similar to Zolder actually, in terms of how the track flows. You know, you're busy, and you can't really switch off because the corners, I mean, they all flow nicely, but they're all slightly off cambered here and there, and placement of the car and your throttle application is really, really important around here. So who's coming across the line there? 28. So Michael's going to come around and set his first lap. And Michael puts himself up to 3rd. He is only a 10th off. That's a good effort, Michael. Graham's come across the line. He didn't improve there, but he's on another fast lap. And then at 67 is Macatron. How's he getting on in the McLaren? Okay, so he's 2.7 off the pace currently. Where is Hutch? So Hutch is currently in 12th. Remember, Hutch is aiming for a top 10 finish. He'd be happy with a top 10 finish. I am slow. The controller's currently in the pits. He's currently sat in 10th. SOP Nelly, if you remember, he really impressed me. I think it was Bathurst a couple of weeks ago when I watched him, and he did really impress me because it was his first run out with us. And he more than held his own. I think he was top 3 in that, actually, if memory serves. And then Fresh Brizzle, again, newbie to me. I'm unaware of this chap, but he's in Tier 1, so he must have some pace. Which is just, it's excellent news, isn't it? The more quicker people we can get in, increase that competition, gets everyone invested to do more practice, to get more competitive, builds that camaraderie again. So let's have a look at Chica then. Chica's currently down on that time, so he's not going to be too happy with that. We've got just over 5 minutes left. No clue, to be honest, Lurchies. Okay, it is a difficult one. I'll put another clue out there. If anyone paid attention to the Get to Know Your Driver thread, yeah, in the Discord, the answer might be in there. I'll leave that one with you. As Chica comes into the Melbourne hairpin, he's gone a bit deep there by the look of it. Definitely gone a bit deep there. So Michael's absolutely throwing it through the Fogarty. Yes, he's there, not in the right way, so that lap's going to be invalid. 4.5 minutes to go. Crazies is currently sat in 4th place, so you've got to look how close the top 10 is. We've got 3 thousandths, 1 tenth, 2 tenths. Those 4, and we know those 4 are all extremely capable drivers. Marek is actually doing extremely well there in the Beamer. That's a good run from him. And GT Jamie, I think he'll be satisfied at the moment with 6th place. Traction, I don't know how happy he'll be with 7th, but again, we're under a second. The top 7 are all within a very short space of time. As you just saw that pink jag at the top of the screen there. I'm slow still in the pitch. Where's Gamer Dad? So let's have a look at Gamer Dad. Hutch wanted me to do that, so we will. Gamer Dad goes through McLean's there on the run to Coppice. Dab on the brakes, turn him and cut that across the Astro, yeah, and then get on the power. She sounds amazing. She sounds absolutely amazing. Is he going to improve? Let's stick with him. Let's stick with Gamer Dad. So remember, we've got a full hour's race coming up. Well, so sorry folks, Lurchies has put an answer in there saying, isn't it me or Timmy Blunder, as we're both famous commentators? Well, I can't give you the answer, Lurchies. You have to tell me what your answer is. So Gamer Dad not finding the pace at the moment. Which you'll no doubt please Hutch. And who else did Hutch want me to follow, guys? So Lenny's out in the Bentley. I'm expecting him to be getting a quicker lap in next time round. And there we go. So Michael, wow, that's a quick time. Michael's just popped in a 27.2. Wow, that is rapid. I think Michael is he's quickly making himself. Oh, but see, there's the problem. You see, he's pushing there. He's pushing. I bet he wanted a 26. That was greedy, Michael. If he wanted a 26, you don't need a 26. Well, that would have been amazing. So I think Michael's quickly established himself as one of the quickest. Every week he's there or thereabouts at the top end. And his 1 lap pace is impressive. So Graham's going to be looking at that, scratching his head, going on 2.5 tenths down. How? but we've got a whole 60-minute race. Anything can happen. Remember we said about the tyre strategy and the fueling strategies, so there's that 5-second payoff really. So as Michael goes nice and wide there, so we can straighten that up. He didn't make a mistake, he's done that deliberately, so we can get on the power earlier. He can straight line the end of that corner, and so he can get another, well, he'll be going for it on this one. So Graham's currently still in second place, and then Chica is sat in third, Crazy's fourth, SOP Nelio, okay, it looks like, who's that there? So Chica's gone into the pits. Nelio's currently sat in the pits, but he's got himself up to 5th place. That's an excellent run from him. Marek is currently still in 6th. GT Jamie 7th. Traction Dave in 8th. The Dark Horror, I mean, what a name that is. I don't know if he made that up on Halloween or what, but the Dark Horror in the Bentley, he's currently 9th. And then Lely in the Bentley rounds out the top 10. Now, anyone that watches us regularly, especially on GT3 Sundays, will know that Lely is normally sat either 1, 2 or 3. So I'm sure he will want to improve on that. 20 seconds left. Don't know if he's going to be able to. Graham's in the pits, Chica's in the pits, so those guys aren't going to take pole. Michael's put it in the pits as well. That realistically leaves only Crazies, who we are following now, so let's go on board with him. And he's down. He's not going to do it. So Michael again. Looks like Michael's going to take pole, which you cannot deny. He's a quick little chappy. Don't know if he's little, but he's certainly very quick. Congratulations, Michael, on that pole position. Graham, well done on second. Chica, excellent run for third there. Well done, Crazies. That's your top 2 rows. So Lenny ended up 10th. Fresh Brizzle 11th. He's got to be happy with that. First one out that I'm aware of, 11th place. Spacey in 12th. I think he'd be probably disappointed. I think his pace is quicker than that. I am slow 13th. He should be disappointed, I think, given what he showed us so far. I mean, he's really, really quick driver. Hutch in 14th. He's got 4 places to make up to get in that top 10. Gamer Dad in 15th. He's definitely not going to be happy, although I'm sure Hutch will be smiling. And Macatron and Raikachu 16th and 17th respectively. So Raikachu didn't set a lap. Macatron, that's showing a GT4. We'll have to check that out, because if that's the case, Macatron needs to exit the server, basically. You're not going to have much luck with that. No, he's not in. Yeah, he came in earlier on the GT4, he's in the McLaren. So, track has obviously evolved, still fast. Ambient temperature 22, track temperature 27 degrees. Nothing to worry about on the tyres there. That's all playing into the hands of quick laps. So, we'll just have a little pause. We'll wait for everybody to get lined up on the grid, and then we can start thinking about what strats they're going to run. So we've had a look at all those things, and what cars are going to be quicker where on this track, because apart from the back straight from Coppice down to the Fogarty S's, there isn't really any huge straights here. Yeah, there's a lot of very quick sectors, you know, running down through Craner Curbs into the old hairpin. You know, there's a lot of quick sectors here. So it's anybody's guess at which car is going to run away with it. Well, you'd have to say Michael on that pace looks like he could. Georgie Priest says Mark Lamar. No, Georgie, not Mark Lamar. Lurchy says, I say it's you. I'm sure your birthday wasn't long ago, as you didn't race one evening, as it was your birthday the day after. Lurchies, you've got it. Well done. Lurchies, that is correct. Sir Lewis Hamilton does share his birthday with a famous sports commentator, and that would be me. COMMS by Coops. So Lurchies is this week's winner, and what a great time to win just before the race gets started. So well done, Lurchies. Again, let me know what track you want, what car you want, and I'll make sure you get that sent over to you tomorrow or whenever you need it, mate. Okay, so let me know. Georgie Priest is like, wow, well done, sir. Say, Lurchies, good memory. But I know Lurchies has got a good memory, because the other night when I was watching Lurchies and King of the Hills do their commentary on Mixed Mondays, I thought I'd pop in there and give our fellow commentators some moral support, and well, not wind them up, just have a bit of a giggle. And Lurchies was talking about squishies, yeah, the little sweets, and King of the Hills didn't know what they were originally, and you know, but Lurchies remembered them from way back in the day, as he remembered it was my birthday. So well done, Lurchies. Little clap for him. Good. Georgie Priest says, "Damn, I should have remembered that." Yes, you should have, but you didn't, so you lose. Simple. Right. 1 minute 20 to go. Again, everyone's just having a look, tweaking setups. Probably listening to this, thinking, "God, Coops, don't have to talk some drivel," but hey. Better that, boys. I could be on the grid with you, and that would be dangerous, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. Especially for Michael, because I wouldn't give him any setups. Although the setup isn't what makes him fast, it's his skill. So traction, where we are. So traction is 8th. Okay. He could do well today. They're both in the same car. I'm assuming they've shared info. You know, I know there are no teams in this particular championship, but they're pretty much best buddies. So I'm sure they've shared info. So come on, traction. Go and give him something to think about.
30 seconds.
Right, 30 seconds before we move on to the formation lap. We've got a slight increase in the ambient and track temperature, as you can see at the top. No wet weather due for this race. Again, you can see that at the top there. It gives a little forecast over the next 3-10 minutes, and that will change if there's anything that's potentially due in, which there's not, thankfully. So these guys can just go at it, hammer and tongs. Who's doing what strategy? That's what I want to know, and that's what we're going to watch unfold over the next 60 minutes. So make sure you got a drink. Make sure you're nice and comfy. Any questions, pop it on the chat. If there's anyone watching that wants a shout out, pop it on the chat. I may even do a second competition later on. Who knows? We'll see how I feel. Okay, so out we come. We're currently on Crazies. Well, not on him, obviously, because he's driving, and that wouldn't be very comfortable for him, but we are viewing Crazies, and as always, we will go helicam to start with, just so we can get a good view. And we've got an unguided lap again, and Michael has bolted by the look of it. Not sure that will please everyone. Not sure we want to be going so quickly, but Michael's probably thinking, I want to just keep my tyres in their window, if they're in a good window. Still, it's given everybody else behind, as you can see, the opportunity to, you know, put some heat through and jump on those brakes. Come on, Hutchie, top 10 tonight. Yes, I would like to see Hutch get in the top 10 as the featured driver. I'm positive that he can. Positive that he can. So, going through... going through Coops there. See Michael's weaving up top there, just trying to get some temperature in. Graham's deliberately sat off. Now, obviously we're not in Formula 1, so no one's going to call me and say, "Hey Coops, he's not 10 car lengths and whatnot," but I don't know if we've got some strategy being played out at the front there. Some little, not mind games, but you know, Michael's going to be wary that he can't be running off. Yeah, that's not the way that these starts are done. That's not the way that we do them. So Graham's probably holding back on that front, and then given himself room to have a little bit of a, I'll say, squirt of the throttle. Yeah, apart from, I didn't want to say anything else, but right, so we're coming up to Goddard's. Everyone's formed up now, 2 by 2. Everyone is now looking ahead, looking in their mirrors, thinking about, okay, how are we going to attack that first corner? What's the braking marker going to be for me? How am I going to defend? Here we go, guys. We wait. They're waiting. We wait again. We're still waiting, and we're off, and we're going. Michael's got a great start there. You saw him absolutely fly off down there. Graham's under pressure from Crazies on the outside as we go into Redgate for the first time. There's contact behind. Looks like Hutch has just got turned around there. I hope that wasn't Hutch, as Michael goes off towards Crane and Coops with Graham all over him. Crazies is currently side by side. I had to hold my breath there for a moment. Crazies and Chica were side by side. That was probably the right move for Chica just to back out of that slightly. And then SOP Nelio's got himself riled there, which is a great effort from him. Let's have a quick look at him there. Then we've got GT Jamie who's under pressure from Marek. Marek puts a move up the inside. And then Traction's just holding station there with Dark Horror and the Bentley behind. And Lely, you can see Lely just had a little wiggle in the black Bentley there. We've just gone on to Lely, who's looking up the inside of Dark Horror. And then we've got Hutch in 11th. Lely is not comfortable today in that Bentley, which is really unlike him because he drives the Bentley all the time. Back to the front, as you can see, Michael and Graham must have had a little coming together there because Michael went straight across the Fogarty S's. He's had to go really defensive as we come down into the Melbourne hairpin. And IR Graham, there's another little touch then. Crazies dives up the inside. Is he going to push him wide? Is he going to push Graham wide? No, he doesn't. That's good driving from him. Graham slots back in. And then Chica and SOP Nelio are holding station. So we've got quite a start to this. Chica got right close to the back of Crazies then. Thought he was going to touch him, and these five are slowly building a slight gap, a second gap back to Marek, Jamie and Traction, who are then trying to chase them down. So we'll keep a look on the splits. That's your closest battle. We'll keep an eye on this top five whilst I have a quick look down there. Nelio looks like he's got a good run out of there. Let's go on board as we go down the Craner curves and see what that looks like. See how that Ferrari's behaving. Into the old hairpin on the brakes, down to third. Off the power, turning on the power, just squeezing the power there too much and she'll spin on you. Don't take too much curve. We know the Ferrari absolutely loves curbs, so that will probably be an area where she will lose out to the guys in front in the Astons and the Mercs. Up into Coppice, down with the brakes, down two, off, then slowly on the power again, not too much. He short shifted there, which was probably wise. As we get the run down to Fogarty S's, we will come off this in a moment. Yeah, Lurchy says Nelio is mega fast. I agree, Lurchy. When I've watched him before, he did impress me. So hard on the brakes. We're going to have to trail in to the Melbourne hairpin. Ran tiny bit wide there, but that's okay. Traction control wasn't kicking in too much. He's got it on 5, so he gets the run up towards Goddard's on the brakes, down to first. These boys are working hard, as you can see in his rear view mirror. Those three are still absolutely nose to tail behind him. So let's just change that. Let's change the view, guys. We need to be able to see what else is going on. You all want to see it. So Graham's still second, Crazy. So those guys have sorted themselves out. So who's heading off there? GT Jamie's just gone wide out of Redgate, and that's allowed Traction Dave to jump up the inside as they go down Craner's curbs. What a great place to overtake. He's going to get hard on the brakes as we go into the old hairpin. Keep it together. McLaren, she can be a little aero happy, but that seemed pretty good. But now GT Jamie's got an immense run out of there. He's all over the back of him as they go through McLean's. Who's going to get the power down? That's nicely done. And they do seem to be catching up with Marek as well. So those four. And then Hutch is up into the top 10. So Lely's not having a good day at the moment. Maybe Lely's got some setup issues there. But Hutch has managed to put that Ferrari into the top 10. Then we've got Lely and Spacey. Spacey's also in the Bentley. Again, I would expect him to be a little bit further up the field. And then behind them. Oh, Hutch, no. I don't know what happened there. I have no idea. I've been watching this battle the entire time in case Hutch is listening in. No idea. Let's see how Hutch is getting on. Oh dear, it looks like he went off the track a little bit. We're still showing him as in 10th, but he's obviously not. He's dropped a couple, so he's in 12th. So Spacey and Lely are having their battle now. Lely's definitely got a run on him as we come down towards Redgate. There we go, let's have a look at it from that view. You can see he went wider there to get a better turn in. Yeah, let's go back. We're going to be doing this all night with seeing people nose to tail through Crane. Look at that turn, he turned that so early then. On the power nicely, so no issues in terms of putting the power down. The car wasn't twitchy, she wasn't trying to spin on him. As we go into McLean's. How is she on turn in? It's a bit slow, definitely a bit slow through there. maybe it's a case of getting to learn the track a bit more. I don't know how much Lely knows this track. So I don't know what's happened there. Obviously, we're watching other people and we've missed that. So IR Graham is currently your leader. So Michael's had an issue. So look at his windscreen. His windscreen looks okay. So it doesn't look like he's had a crash. Crazies is all over the back of him now. So let's keep a little watch on this. Graham, Michael, Crazies, Chica and Nelio, they are your top 5. They're all running within a second of each other, and that is bloody awesome. And then Marek and Traction are really working hard in that second group to catch up. We need to move towards the back of the grid because we haven't looked at anybody yet, but I'm so conscious there's so much going on at the moment. Macatron's in 13th place. As you can see behind him, we've got Gamer Dad in 14th with I Am Slow in the McLaren currently in 15th. So I Am Slow probably wouldn't have thought he would be down there, but again, I don't know how much he knows the track. I don't know how often he's been on Donington. Might be his first time. Raikachu is 16th and Fresh Brizzle is 17th. Those two have already been in and made their pit stop, so they're trying to go for an extremely long run. Maybe they had an issue earlier on in the race and thought better to go in and get things fixed, but here we go. Here's your top 5. Graham's pulled himself 1.2 seconds over Michael now, which is surprising. That is surprising given the pace at the beginning of the race. Crazies looks like he wanted to make a move there, just sticking the nose out, just trying to make Michael go deep into the Melbourne hairpin. They all seem to get a good drive out of there. Chica's currently in 4th doing really well, and there's Nelio. Traction Dave is looking like he's catching up to the back of that pack, so he's going to be happy with that. Or maybe Michael's trying to hold him up to bring him into play, who knows, as they all get onto the start-finish straight. And then behind them we've got this next 4. Look how close this is. Marek, GT Jamie, The Dark Horror, and Spacey's a couple attempts behind with Lely. So if those two can work together a little bit, they'll be right on the back of these guys. And Hutch is only a second down the road as well with the others. There is absolutely nothing to choose with these guys at the moment. It's almost like we've got 3 races of 5 going on at the same time, which is awesome. Raikachu and Fresh Brazil are still obviously at the back, but they have completed their pit stops. So those boys are just going to be trying to run in free air, and they're going to hope that they can put some consistent laps in to bring themselves into play when everybody else decides to jump into the pits. Okay, Michael has taken half a second out of Graham, and then the times have changed again, so he hasn't. Crazies is still holding 3rd place in the Aston. I actually want to have a chat with him about the Aston, because I think the Aston, on PC, the Aston, even before update 1.8, the Aston was my favourite car on the PC. She's absolutely beautiful, with the right setup, she's really competitive everywhere. But on the PlayStation, just can't get her to replicate. I know that sounds stupid, because they're very different on the PC to the PlayStation, but cannot get that to replicate. Right, so Traction, as you can see, he is right. Oh, we've had a spinner in the back. GT Jamie just spun at the back there and got out. You just saw that. Oh, watch out, boys. GT Jamie, good work. Just backing out of the way there, completely in the race. Excuse me, in the racing line. And I would have had to call a safety car out if he hadn't have done that. But that was good racing by him. So Crazies still trying to chase these two down. Michael's got it back down to 7.5 tenths, so he's closing back up on Graham. I want to keep an eye on those deltas through different parts of the lap, because it did appear that coming out the last 2 hairpins that Graham had pulled 4 tenths on him, so that may be where the Merc has one over on the McLaren. In terms of other areas that are closer, Spacey's closing right up on the Dark Horror. Traction is right there with Nelio. You can keep your eye on the 4 in the background like we did earlier on. That's the beauty of everyone being close together. We can keep our eye on multiple things. Go on, Traction, push it. You're not going to have an easy time against Nelio, and we know Chica's quick and very, very consistent. So these 3 are about to have themselves their own fun little race. Marek's still in 7th place. and well, the Dark Horror, I believe, has just taken that away from him. So Dark Horror in the Bentley's just taken the place off Marek in the Beamer, and now we've got Spacey and Lenny all over the back. So the Bentleys are all trying to harass that poor little Beamer, and then Hutch is just in the background there in the Ferrari, just keeping tabs on this lot. There's 4 together, you never know, they could all come together at any stage. Obviously we don't want that, but when you're racing that closely, mistakes do get made. Everyone's under pressure. Oh, look at that, Nelio's trying to make a move on Chica there. That was so close. Where's Traction? Has Traction Dave jumped both of them? He bloody has. Excuse my French. Traction Dave, what a move that would have been. So he's jumped both of those guys, and look, he's off. He's off. He's now thinking, right, Crazies, you're next. You can see the top 3 in the distance. Traction's driving extremely well at the moment to come back from where he qualified. So he's moved up the field progressively from 8th place. But I don't think you can underestimate that. Chica is quick. Nelio is extremely quick. And then we've got that gap all the way back to the Dark Horror. Marek is still holding 8th place from Letty. Although Letty looks like he's going to set up a move. He thought about it then. Probably wise not to. Spacey takes a little bit of grass there, but hey, that's okay. Hutch is holding 11th place, so he's doing pretty well there, which is obviously higher than he qualified, so he can't be unhappy with that. Gamer Dad's up to 12th in that. I don't know if he employs some kind of artist, maybe from a preschool or a nursery, to colour in his cars, but well, at least it's within the lines. You're never going to miss him. GT Jamie, he wants to get back up there. Obviously, he had that issue at Goddard's earlier on in the race, but he's still plugging away. And then you got I Am Slow. I'm telling you, there's got to be he can't know this track. This guy is not slow. He's not. Even though he's on a controller, he's rapid. So we'll see. Macatron, who's obviously jumped in tonight, he's a lap down at the moment, but he's still going. He's going to look to pick up some points. That's where we all are at the moment. There's 2 tiers. Yes, Georgie, there is 2 tiers. Yes, and yes, Lurchy, sorry. Excuse me. There are 2 tiers. Both coming probably from Hutch or Gamer Dad. No, joking. Oh dear, we'll get off Macatron. I didn't see that either. So IR Graham, oh, who's that? Who have we got there? We've got someone. Who's that spun? Right on the pit lane. I think that's Fresh Brizzle. Let's check him out. It was Fresh Brizzle, unlucky. So he's obviously got on the power a little bit early there. It's been a little bit keen to get on the power out of Goddard's. And that hasn't helped him. So we'll go Helicam. You'll keep an eye on this now. So Nelio okay, so maybe earlier on Chica and Nelio had an issue and Traction took advantage of that, because Chica's got 4th place back. As I said, Chica's quick, very quick and consistent around here, and Nelio is also the same. And Traction, there we go, coming out the old hairpin. The back end obviously just stepped on him a little bit there and he overcorrected, which unfortunately put him off the track, so that puts Nelio back up to 5th. Traction back to 6th. That could be the story of this race for these 3. They could just be interchanging positions all the time. And Lely, maybe Lely's slowly getting her dialed in. He's moved his way up to 7th in the Bentley. Dark Horror in 8th and Spacey in 9th. So Marek did get eaten in the end. He did get devoured by those Bentley boys. 3 against 1, that's not very fair, chaps. Hutch is still plugging away in 11th there, Gamer Dad in 12th. So Gamer Dad and GT Jamie, well, those 2 are very, very close, and Gamer Dad is only 7/10 behind Hutch. So I'm going to stay on Gamer Dad, because we'll catch both the other 2 in this shot, and let's see how this one develops. I know it's fairly tight up the front as well, but I want to be fair to everybody, and this looks like it's going to be quite a nice battle. So I would say, personally, GT Jamie should be the quickest out of these 3, given how he performed in practice and qualifying, and certainly at the start of the race. Maybe King of the Hills is over there. He might be, Lurchies. He very well might be. That means you're going to ditch me now, innit? Go and watch him. So you win your prize. Don't leave, please. Anyway, GT Jamie has a little look as they go down into Redgate, trying to put Gamer Dad off. They all go through there. Hutch didn't get a good drive out of there. He probably got a little twitch of oversteer from the look of the position on that car. Gamer Dad takes a good line through there. GT Jamie is meandering behind them at the moment. He's looking quite menacing, isn't he, doing that? Just keeping them very much aware that he's ready to strike. Hutch is not going to want to let Gamer Dad by. Gamer Dad's going to be going, come on, let me by, come on. And Hutchie will be sitting there going, no, you can't come by, mate. I don't know what GT Jamie sounds like, so I can't attempt to copy his voice, but he'll be wanting that position as well. So back at the front, I know as soon as I come off this, something's going to change, but I don't want Hutch to die, I don't want Gamer Dad to die, and I don't want GT Jamie to have another instance. So I'm not, well, I was going to come off it, but I'm not going to. It's the closest we've got on the race at the moment. Nelio's closing Chica down. Michael's a second behind Graham. See what crazy split comes up with at the minute. He's nearly 5 seconds back, so I'm not even going to have a look at these boys. We're going to stay where we are at the moment. Traction is now 2.7 off Nelio, so whatever pace he did have, maybe he's scrubbed the tyres, maybe he's worn them out a little bit. GTJ, that Lambo, she does pull nicely in the straight line, doesn't she? Spacey and Marek, they're all Gamer Dad. GT Jamie, that was very, very gentlemanly of you there. Gamer Dad had an issue coming out of Redgate, and GT Jamie just said, actually, I'll make sure I don't hit you, which was very sporting of him and the right thing to do. Michael's just taken Graham. Graham's obviously had an issue there coming out of, or going into the Fogarty S's, because Michael was a second behind him. And then Michael's ran deep into the Melbourne hairpin, which is going to give GT Graham a chance to come back up there. Yeah, it doesn't need to go defensive there, Michael. He had enough of a gap. He does cover that just in case. Graham goes slightly deep, but he's going to get a good cut back on there to get on the power. So, again, these two, they're going at it. We're nearly 20 minutes into this 60-minute race. No one's giving any quarter at the moment. We've got Spacey's own. That move must be done. It says 60 thousandths, but that isn't 60 thousandths, as you just saw. So GT Jamie is half second behind. Gamer Dad, Hutch, Spacey, Dark Car and Lely, so they're all nicely spaced out. We'll keep an eye on this one, and the other battle developing now is SOP Nelio with Chica. Is that Crazy's just in front of them? No, that's not Crazy's. That looks like Macatron. So they're coming up to lap Macatron. Let's see if he's a good chap and obeys those blue flags that you can see waving at the side of the track there. Graham and Michael is still half second. Macatron does move aside. Excellent driving, well done. And they're now up onto the back of Fresh Brizzle. So Raikachu has pitted, I Am Slow has pitted, Macatron has pitted, and so has Fresh Brizzle. So those guys are running till the end. Everybody else at the moment are now going to be starting to think about, well, what is our plan? Are we going 50-50? As in, are we coming in at half an hour? Have we fueled to go slightly long? Have we fueled for the entire race and just need tyres? Or are we going to keep on the same set of tyres and just going for fuel? Remember, there will be a 5-second difference. If you go in and you stop for fuel only, so no tyres, it's a 25-second stop on average. Gamer Dad's in the pits, Marek's in the pits, just so that you guys are aware. So yes, if you stop and just take fuel, it's 25 seconds, assuming no damage. If you do fuel and tyres, that's 30 seconds. Okay, so there's a 5-second difference in the pit stop strategy there, which, you know, that could do quite nicely, as Nelio, going into Redgate, is right on the back of Chica. Chica's going to need to defend that. Nelio's pretty handy in that Ferrari, I've got to say. And where's Traction? Traction's there. I'm not going to go on to him at the moment. Just going to keep an eye on all those different splits as they go out of the old hairpin. It looked like Nelio got a better run out of there. You can see he's closing him down as they're coming up towards McLean's at the moment. He definitely got some pace on him. Just that run through the old hairpin. He does look quicker. So Chica might be having tyre issues at the moment, or at this stage of the race. Nelio's just got himself into a nice rhythm. But then the Merc pulls away down the straight, as you'd expect, into the Fogarty S's. Any issues with that? No issues with that one. Just keeping an eye on the doubters. Everything else seems to be as it were. So let's go on to this. So yes, my point was with the pit stop strategies, if you drop in and just take fuel, that's fantastic. You're going to save yourself 5 seconds in the pits, which, given how close a lot of these guys are, could be extremely important. The flip side to that, if you come in and you spend the extra 5 seconds, assuming no damage, getting new tyres, come the end of the race, everyone who's saved 5 seconds are going to have shoddy tyres. SOP Nelio comes into the pits. Okay, so he's coming in slightly early, so he's going to run to the end. I would expect him to change tyres then. He's going to do a 40-minute stint. If only this had the same software as on PC, it would tell me exactly how long. Well, we can see how long he's in the pits actually. Top left corner, it's showing that at the moment. Well, that's his lap time, but we can gauge. Let's see if it goes 25 or 30 seconds from that stop. So I would guess that he's taking fuel and tyres there. But yes, so it could get interesting at the end of the race, depending on what people do. That's a little bit longer, so maybe he had a little bit of damage he needs to fix as well. So Michael is currently still leading the race. From Graham, 1.1 seconds there, 3.5 seconds back to Crazy. So those three, well, they're going to get very much used to each other, aren't they? That's a nice battle going on then. Need to go and check that one out. Chica's running in fourth. He's 10 seconds behind, and he's got Traction, who's a further 2.6 behind him. So Chica's in a very lonely type place at the moment, although he's got the Pink Panther in front of him of Gamer Dad that he's going to be able to, well, get by shortly. Lenny's up to 6th. Lenny runs pretty close to Macatron there. You've got to be a bit careful. And then we've got Spacey, Dark Horror. So these boys are still racing. They are all still racing. They're not that far apart. GT Jamie's in 9th. Hutch is up to 10th. Well done, Hutch. That's where you want to be. And then everybody else behind them, so Nelio, Raykachu, Gamer Dad, I Am Slow, Marek, Macatron and Fresh Brizzle have all pitted. So be very interesting to see how those strategies work themselves out at the end. Got to give our Michael some airtime. He's doing a great job. Obviously, you know, you got to think as a driver. Spacey's in the pits, by the way. As a driver, you know, pole position, very, very quick on qualifying. Got out of the traps early, fought off Graham, kept it going, but then had a mistake and lost first place. And that's the sort of time where that mental strength shows through. Can you collect yourself? Can you become calm again? And then, okay, dust off, let's get consistent, start hitting my markers, and let's start pushing it a little bit. So he had the confidence in the car to push, because obviously Graham wouldn't have been sitting on his laurels, having taken first place. He was obviously thinking, let's capitalise and push on as much as we can. As we've got, I think that was Marek coming out of the pits there. Casey's is doing a great job in 3rd in that Aston. Let's jump on the Aston. Let's have a little sound of her, shall we? I love the sound. I do love the sound of that Aston. Volume up full on the headphones, and you know, it's just amazing. Right, let's have a quick look at the live chat. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to neglect you guys. We'll keep an eye on Michael and Graham because it's only 6/10 now. Everywhere else is pretty well spaced out. Chica's in the pits, Hutch is in the pits, Chica's just coming out. So all these strats are beginning to play out as we just keep our eye on the top 2. Lurchy's, he sticks out like a sore thumb. Yeah, he certainly does. Obviously, we're talking about Gamer Dad there, folks. No, Lurchy's going to stay here till 11 because it's got to be up at silly o'clock. Oh look, he's like a little superhero really. He's got to get up dead early and go and sort things out across the country. Same as Gamer Dad. I mean, he has to work dead late and has to sort things out for people across the country and everybody else in between. So it's all good, guys. It's all good. Thank you, Lurchies. Remember to let me know what track you want, mate, and what car. No change, top 3. Michael, Graham, Crazy's traction is up to 4th, probably, well, obviously, courtesy of those pit stops. So he's got a pretty important segment of the race now. He's not got to worry about anyone challenging him in front or behind. He needs to make hay and he needs to punch in some quick laps. Obviously Chica and Nelio have been in the pits, but look at that. See, Nelio, obviously you would expect that, but Nelio's actually come out ahead of Chica. So are they manual stopping, or did someone do an auto stop? Or again, is this that strategy of the 5-second difference? Yeah. So before they went in the stops, you'd probably say Nelio was a couple of seconds behind, well, a second and a half maybe behind Chica, but he's now 3 and a bit seconds up. So did they split their strategies as to the two that are available? That would lend to that way of thinking, given that current time difference. So all to play for. Traction gets himself past the Pink Panther. That's what I'm just going to start calling him after. He'll like that. He'll like that. A manly Pink Panther, yeah. Of Gamer Dad, who's still plugging away down in 12th, having pitted though, so I'm sure he could use that to his advantage. So Michael's still out there doing his thing. Graham's nearly 1.2 behind him. They are close, aren't they? Dark Cora's come into the pit, so that's going to elevate GT Jamie unless he ducks it in now. What's going to happen? What is going to happen, folks? JR, Sim Racing on the live chat says, keep pushing everyone. Good evening, JR. Good to see you, buddy. I am sure, please correct me, this morning, as we all do, because we're all totally addicted to what we love doing here, as you do, I went onto YouTube this morning, JR, and started watching a stream of one of the guys doing the Daytona 24, and I'm positive that you were in there and that I said hello. But then I had to go because the kids let me know, because I think you put a little donation into the guy as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, yeah. But yeah, good to see you back, even though you're not racing. It's good to see you coming and supporting. Just so you know, Michael absolutely blitzed qualified P1. It did have an issue, a couple of laps in. Graham got ahead, but Michael fought back, and that's where they've sat. Crazy's, as you know, Crazy's is where Crazy's is always near the front. And Lely has actually fought his way back. I know we've had some pit stops going on, but Lely's fought his way back. I think he qualified like 10th or 11th. He seems to be struggling today a little bit with a Bentley as he comes into the pits. So what's Traction going to do? What are you going to do, Traction? Are you going to come into the pits, or are you just going to keep making hay while the sun shines? I suppose it would depend on how his tyres feel. If they feel good and he's in the groove, why change that if he feels like he's making up time on the other people that have been in. Raikkonen is up to 9th, so his strategy seems to be panning out quite well now. He pitted very, very early. I love guys what they do for charity raise. Yes, totally, I totally agree, says JR. He was watching a few streams. Yeah, same as mate. Yeah, I do. It is fantastic. It is fantastic what they do. And Raikkonen ends up off down at the Melbourne hairpin there. I kind of didn't see that, unfortunately. I was too busy reading Jar's message, but there you go. And Lurch's had a watch as well. He was watching Jimmy's race. Yeah. Did what happened to Grosjean? Someone said his wheel broke or something like that. Be interesting to know. Obviously, I've been out with the kids most of the day, so Michael's pitted, as has Graham. So let's keep an eye on this one. Crazy's hasn't pitted yet, so he's going to inherit the lead. So time for you to run away, and Traction Dave, time for you to run away as well. Now, is Michael and is Graham, are they both doing manual pit stops? That's the question. Look, they're both there. Let's watch. Who's going to move first? Are they going to do 25 seconds for fueling only, or is one of them going to do 30 seconds with tyres, or they're both going to do it? did they have any damage? We've seen them both off slightly, and you know, not smashing into walls, but we've seen Michael's going first, and there goes Graham. Sprint, 31 mile an hour sprint. So Graham's jumped Michael in the pits. Oh my God, this is awesome. He's jumped him in the pits. Okay, game on, boys. So they went a 50-50 split in terms of time. So Crazies, where's Crazies now? He's coming down towards the Melbourne hairpin. Does he pit in now? Are they stuck behind traffic up there? No, they're not. Well, they've got one in front of them, but it looks pretty clean. What are you going to do, Crazies? Traction, doesn't matter too much what he does, I'll just keep pushing along. But Crazies, he's staying out. Okay, right, so he thinks he can push it a bit more. So, here we go. Graham's coming up through Coppice at the moment. Michael's following through, a second behind them. We've got a nearly 25 second gap back to Nelio. Again, you have to rate Nelio. He came in early, got his pit stop done, and he's been racing really well. He's jumped Chica, as we said, in the pits as well, so he's got 2.5 seconds on him. And then we've got Lely in there. So, Traction's dumped it in the pits. Traction, Nelio and Chica, if you remember, guys, if you look on the left-hand side, those three were nose to tail. Yeah, at the start of this race, they were having an absolutely great battle. So I'm going to be interested to see what happens there. It looks like Macatron's just ported in. So maybe he had it off, or maybe he's going to park it. I don't know, because he's already pitted. Be interesting to see what happens there. Okay, so we need to keep an eye on Nelio. Nelio's coming through the Melbourne hairpin towards Goddard's. And Traction, is he still? Traction's off. Okay, guys, come on, let's see what happens. Okay, so he's coming through Goddard's now. Coming down the main straight, Traction's... No, he's not going to get out ahead of him. Are you going to see him flash by in the top at the moment? Or they're going to come together in the braking zone. There goes Nelio into the braking zone, followed by Chica. So Traction has done a great job on those laps that he stayed out, because he's managed to jump Chica. So Chica's going to be thinking, God damn it! He's actually lost 2 places through that little phase of the race. Well done, Traction. Impressed with that. Just keep it on the track, dude. At the old hairpin, that seems to be his Achilles heel. Graham is still out up front. He's pulled 2 seconds on Michael. That I was not expecting. Crazies has just come into the pits. So, as we're going into the Melbourne hairpin again, you can see Michael diving down the inside there. That guy got out the way nicely. Crazies still sat there. Remember, Crazies was quite a way off these two, so I'm sure he's just hoping to pull a bit of time back, really. Yeah, so Crazies is off as Graham comes past. There he goes in that dirty sounding Merc, and there goes Michael as well. Okay, so Crazies will come out and hold 3rd place because Nelio is just going around Melbourne hairpin. Traction's still in 5th. Where's Chica? Chica's dropped off there. I think Chica's had an issue somewhere, because it's showing a 10th, but obviously he's much further back than that. So maybe coming into the Fogarty S's, maybe he's got himself a little out of shape and gone across the gravel. That's obviously going to cost you 2 or 3 seconds. More than likely what has happened. And Lely's actually gone up a place there, so I think that's probably what happened there. Spazey's currently running in 8th place. He's doing a great job, and the Dark Horror is there in 9th, with Raikkonen in 10th. Now, if you remember, I don't think Raikkonen set a time in qualifying, so he's doing extremely well to come through from the back. Lurchies is off. Okay, buddy, you have a great evening, mate. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Let me know about that setup tomorrow. Good lad. GT Jamie is in 11th. Gamer Dad 12th, so I just love listening to that. That Pink Panther. Marrick's 13th. Hutch is currently in 14th. Now, Hutch qualified 14th, so that's good. He hasn't lost a place on his qualifying, but his aim was the top 10, so we'll have to see. I Am Slow is still going in 15th place. He's had quite a few issues tonight. Michael's 5 seconds. 5 seconds off the pace. He must have had an issue coming out of one of the hairpins, because he was only a second before. So Graham's come out of those pits, and he's obviously got that car hooked up beautifully You never know. Michael might have. You know what? These things happen sometimes. You go to the pit stop. You've made your changes on the way in. Yeah. So you've tweaked around with your tyres. Sometimes they work. Sometimes they don't work. So that might be a factor there. Or sometimes, and we are all humans, we do make this mistake sometimes. You can just mess up your pit strat, and instead of putting fuel in, you don't. Or, which may have happened because he's running so slow. You know, instead of putting 0 fuel in, you could accidentally have clicked on a different one and put in a load of fuel. So you never know. Instead of him having half fuel, race fuel left, he might have a full tank again. Because, look, he's 6.3, he's massively slower than Graham. So, I'll try and find that out at the end of the show. Crazy is in 3rd place. He's now only 2 seconds behind Michael. You can see he's closing that gap down now. Nelio's in 4th still. Traction in 5th, so 3.4 seconds behind. And then Lely, so Lely's all over the back of Traction. Let's have a look at that one as we're coming up towards the Fogarty S's. That's it. They both stay on the track. That's always a good start. I think that, you know, they should make that tyre barrier out of concrete so that people don't just smash it off straight away. So there you go. Lely's got a good line through there. It's a little bit too acute on the way out there, which would have slowed that power delivery down, which has allowed Traction just probably to get an extra 10th as they come through Goddard's onto the start-finish straight, and then Chica's behind them. So Chica's going to want to try and make a couple of places up. I wish I had team radio. I wish I could buzz into Michael and see what's going on there, because that is a huge drop off in pace. But you cannot deny the pace of Graham. Yeah, he's had some awesome pace all race. He's come out of those pits, he's jumped him in the pits, and maybe because they were so close, maybe Michael was actually holding him up. Maybe the Merc didn't like sitting behind him in the dirty air, so he couldn't push as hard as he wanted to. But who knows? So Lenny's half a second now behind Traction. That is the battle that is, well, not developing, is happening on track. Chica's hoping these two start squabbling and hold each other up so he can creep up onto the back of them, get involved in that. Spacey's still in 8th, Dark Horror in 9th, Reikachu in 10th. That's your top 10 at the moment. I'm going to keep an eye on the split with Crazies and Michael, just under 2 seconds at the moment. And then GT Jamie's 12 seconds back, but hey, he's still going, he's still putting in a great drive there. Well done, GT Jamie. Gamer Dad's up to 12th. Wow. I mean, how late can Lenny get on the brakes there compared to Traction? I thought that was brave. That was a brave move. It was also excellent driving by both of them, not to collect. But I did just see SOP Nelio is only just in front of them as well. So maybe all their fighting is actually pushing them forward. Unless Nelio's had a slight mistake. So we could have a 4-way race. That would be nice. Down Craners, up towards the old hairpin. .7. So that is still closest battle on track currently. Oh, Reikachu, no. Let's have a look at Reikachu. Oh, I thought he was going to take his back end out of him then, but that was a beautiful move past the Dark Horror. That was a great move, Reikachu. Well done. Kudos to you as they go through McLean's on the run up to Coppice. Let's turn him in. Yeah, he's got to be a little bit careful through there, Reika, but he is. Manages to get the power down. I don't think Dark Horror is going to come back from that one if Reikachu can keep that Ferrari on the track. As we know, Reika's normally been in the Bentley, and this was a kind of a late decision to move over to the Ferrari, so he's probably not had a huge amount of time getting to know her and how she drives and that setup. And we do know the Ferrari is a million miles away from the Bentley in terms of what you need to do and what she's going to try and do to you. So he's doing very well there. He's got her up to 9th. GT Jamie, Gamer Dad. So everyone's pretty well spaced out at the moment. Macatron's 4 laps down, Fresh Brizzle's 2 laps down, he's just gone into the pits. So either that's another stop, or he's going to park it. 7.5 seconds up front. IR Graham is driving absolutely fantastically, and he's coming up to the back of Hutch. He's going to lap Hutch. Hutch was our not was. I haven't been him off, don't worry. Hutch is our feature driver tonight, as you all know. We did a great interview earlier on today. Very happy. Wanted to try and get in the top 10. That's not going to happen, I don't think, Hutch, unfortunately. The pace of these other chaps has been relentless. So 1.6 between Crazies and Michael. So that is dropping a couple of tenths here and there. Nothing major. I would like to know what's going on in the head of Michael. And this isn't the Michael race's race. But it's almost like someone else has jumped in the chair. Yeah, in terms of that pace difference. I'm positive he's made a tweak to the tyre pressures which hasn't worked, and I think he's accidentally dumped a load of fuel in. We will find out after the race, but that's what I think's happened. Crazies, okay, 1.5 now, so Crazies is plugging away, 18 minutes left at that kind of pace. Where's he going to be at that kind of pace? 18, what we're talking of, 133, okay, so he will be there or thereabouts, probably within about 4 laps. That looks a lot closer than that. See, if it was just traction control or something like that, he could change that on the flies. That's not what's going to be making the issue. Whereas if he's dumped a load of extra fuel in, he's going to be heavy, he's going to be pushing into those braking zones, and he's going to be sluggish coming out in the acceleration zones. Or he didn't change his tyres and they were just absolutely shot anyway, and they've just completely fallen off a cliff. It's one of the two. Who knows? We'll find out. We will find out. Crazy's under a second behind him, and Lely's now under a second as well behind Nelio. So Lely's taken Chica. Traxon's dropped behind Spec, so Traction must have had an off. I'm assuming that because Spacey was not anywhere near him. Chica was quite a bit behind him as well, so I'm assuming Traction's had an issue, probably down the old hairpin. That certainly was where the back end was looking most likely to try and kill him earlier on in the race, certainly. Under a second still for Crazies. So Nelio's managed to push that gap by 1/10.5. It's now 1.3, but look who's hunting. Chica's hunting Lely. 8 tenths. Some cracking racing going on here, as always. Again, if you guys want more information about all of that, please have a look at the website, www.formularacingligue.co.uk. You can find all the information about the races, the different leagues we're in, what's going on, special events, all the chaps that are doing comms. When we do comms, merchandise, keep your eye out for a podcast. Just let that seed grow a little bit. There's lots of stuff going on, so have a look on there. Please get involved, join the Discord. Even if, do you know what, even if you don't want to race, even if you just like watching this and you think they're a decent group, join the Discord and just get involved. There's lots of chat going on all the time, lots of help, and lots of get-togethers and stuff like that. So Lely, Chica and Spacey, that's Lely and Chica, that's the race, isn't it? I think Nelio didn't take tyres because he's look how close, look how much. I mean, that the speed that Lely took in there. As I say, I think Lely's got himself dialed in. I think the first sort of 15 to 18 minutes he was getting used to the car and the track, and I think he's now, as all good drivers, he's got his eye in, and he's now getting back onto his normal pace. But Chica's not letting up either. Right, let's go on board. Let's just have a quick look at the other doubters. They're all fine. Crazies is only 6 tenths behind now. I think we might... Let's go on. I think we might get a move as we come up to Goddard's. Let's have a look at a full lap on this battle. Let's hope that everybody behaves themselves. So down the main straight we come. As I said, we're going to go left, we're going to straddle into the pit lane on the brakes, down a couple of gears, probably into second, turn in, squeeze that power on as we go through Redgate, through Hollywood, then down the Craner curbs, tight to the curb there, and then we're going to flick left, keep it tight, cut slightly, look out for the board on the left, hard on the brakes, down 2, let it take the speed through, and back on the accelerator as we push hard up towards Schwantz corner. Straddle the curb a little bit, hard on the brakes, down 2 gears into McLean's. You have to wait a little bit, then on the power. That's it, you saw Michael twitch there. He might have a tyre issue, definitely. Into cockpits, down 2 gears. Wait, go, not too much. You will try and go, and you can see the inputs from Crazies there, just not soaring at the wheel, but a little bit of movement, just keeping that back end in shape. As we go down the back straight towards Fogarty S's, down a couple of gears, turn her in, then on the power. And let's get it lined up. We may have a move. Michael's gone defensive as you would expect. Curb on the left, on the brakes now, down to first. Trail it in. Is he going to try and get a cut back? No, Hutch is just in front of these two. So Hutch is probably going to be quite conscious. He could interfere with the main battle. Hard on the brakes into Goddard's, into first. Turn her in. Squeeze that power on. Well, I say squeeze, you could see that input was just, that was on. As we complete a lap in this battle for second place. What a great battle, what a great battle. These boys, they always put on a show for me. Yeah, they always give me a lot to talk about and a lot to marvel at, to be honest with you. Do you know how hard it is to drive this quick with other people who are driving this quick? It's extremely difficult, extremely difficult. And JR Lockalow was one of the best at that, but I'm sure everyone's paths will cross again in the nicest possible way. So these three have sort of spaced out a little bit now. Yeah, 1.2 seconds between Nelio and Lely, and then there's pretty much the same back to Chica. Well, how far space is he back? He looks like he's further back. So that battle, which I thought was going to come together and be pretty epic, everyone seems to have found their pace there. Obviously got into a rhythm. So we'll go back to Crazies and Michael, which is obviously the closest battle we have on track as we come into the Melbourne hairpin. Hutch goes really wide. He's on the grass. Hutch, stay on the grass. Stay out the way, Hutch, as he does, as you would expect. So Hutch does the right thing, does not get involved in this absolutely titanic battle we have at the moment for second and third place. I might as well just have a quick look and say Graham's nearly 10 seconds down the road, just going through Hollywood and the Craners. So Graham, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. And Michael's probably more in a defensive mode right now than rather than what's in front of him, because he knows he's not as quick as what he was in the first stint for whatever reason. Crazies will be quite content knowing that he's brought that gap right down. One tiny mistake from Michael and he will pounce, and Michael will be aware of that as well. We're in back markers, so we've got that added bit of spice to play with as well. As we need to move on to Chica for a moment, because those two are 8 tenths apart. Chica's only 4 tenths behind Nelly now, so he's probably, maybe he had a slight issue a lap or two before that, which caused that gap to grow to about 1.1 seconds, and then he's got back on it. As Crazies is now only 6 tenths behind Michael. So you boys are making me work, aren't you? Thanks very much. Mike's got himself a drive through. That's going to be track limits in time place. That's unfortunate, and here we go. It's good timing, Coops, as Crazies definitely looked to move on a cutback there. Michael just about held on to that one. Michael's definitely weaker into those two hairpins, and I think Crazies knows that. But Michael seems to be able to hold on through the fast twisty parts. Maybe it's just a case of smart car placement, as you can hear Marek's just trawling through the pit lane doing his drive through there. Chica is still only 6 tenths behind Lenny, and Lenny's only 4 tenths behind Marek. Don't have a move, Crazies on Michael. Right, we'll have a quick look at this one. So, drive-through cleared 114. Well done, Merrick. So SOP, Lely, and Chica, these boys are also having an absolutely amazing battle at the moment. It is relentless. Nobody's giving an inch. Yeah, these two are still. You see that the gap elongates slightly down this side of the track through the more sort of faster, twistier section. And then what I think you'll find is as we come through the S's, the Aston will probably, I'm not saying the Aston will get a run on that straight after Coops, but certainly in the two hairpins, the Aston seems better on the brakes. Let's have a little look. As you can see, now we're going to go down to the Melbourne hairpin, then we're going to move on to Chica after this because there's only 3 tenths, we'll probably miss a move. So, Crazies, I think Michael really concentrated then on that line because the last couple of laps he's been slightly wide, not much, just a fraction, but that's obviously allowed Crazies to keep chipping away at that lead. Let's move off that for 1 second. So Chica is only 3 tenths, and look at these guys, oh my word. Let's go on with Lely, right slap bang in the middle. We're going to have a watch of this, guys, we have to. Just showing his nose, trying to put him off, and you can see in the back Chica's just taken a slightly different line, looking to be able to straight line that a bit more and get the power on early, but he's actually ended up going off there slightly, which is unfortunate. As we come up to Goddard's, again hard on the brakes, just by the Pirelli sign, get the cars turned in, try and get it as straight as possible. Chica's had a wobble there, massive amount of oversteer, as he'd obviously put his foot on the loud pedal. He's trying, he wants that place back, but he did well to hold on to that, so he's got it all to do again. We little twitch coming out of Redgate there from Nelio as well, so they're all desperate to get on that power, aren't they? And then back up top, Crazies and Michael still the same gap. So Lely, Chica, and Nelio have all done that thing. They've all moved it to about a second each again, so they're probably going to do that for a lap and then come back at each other. A bit further on down the track, wants to keep an eye on all those things. So Spacey's still in 7th place. That's an excellent run. Oh, Chica, oh, massive over. Oh, that was a massive amount of oversteer then off. He did very well to hold that, but he's lost a lot of time, unfortunately. Michael's hitting the grass there as they're coming through Goddard, so he's working really, really hard. Crazies is not going to let up on him, but Michael has pulled. Michael's pulled about 5 tenths in that lap, all told, so good effort. That might just buy you enough breathing space for 7 minutes of this race left to go. Nelly's only half a second behind Nelio now, so these two, that's where that battle is. Chica's going to have a great 2 or 3 laps to get back onto the end of these two, unless they hold each other up. I think that's I Am Slow just in front of them, that they're going to come up to a lap again shortly. Crazies and Michael is still a second. Graham's out there, 12.3 seconds. Graham, I don't need to sit on you, mate. I don't want to ruin your race. You're doing an amazing job. Keep going. So Lely and Nelio. Lelio and Nelio, that's what we'll say. That sounds good, doesn't it? 8.5 tenths between them. Traction's in 8th. Oh, Nelio's gone off track there. No, don't take him out. Oh, I thought he was going to take him out. So Nelly goes up. Chica then takes that place as well. And Nelio has done a nice 360 there in terms of getting her back on. Where Spacey's just coming through old hairpin now. So that's going to put him... Nelio, unlucky pal. You've driven a brilliant race so far. But I did say at the top of the show with that Ferrari, she is so temperamental. And I did also say I didn't think he took tyres, and that may explain that, as there was definitely a loss of grip there. So Nelio's back into 6th, Lely's promoted up to 4th, so considering where he qualified and how he started the race, Lely's got to be pretty happy with that. Chica's got himself back up to 5th place, so he'll be quite comfortable there, as he's always in and around the top 5. Again, Spacey's in 2nd. He's coming up to the back of Nelio. We'll keep an eye on that now. Spacey's had a quiet race, but he's just been going about his business, just taking places when they present themselves. And Traction Dave and the other McLaren just lurking behind there as they came out the Melbourne hairpin. Up into Goddard's, that was a very wide line by Nelio. I definitely think he's got a tyre issue. You saw a big handful of oversteer there as well. Spacey, obviously he'd seen him go deep and wanted to capitalise that, so he got on the power a bit too early. But I think Nelio's got a tyre issue. We're going to just keep my eye on that. Crazy's still under a second behind Michael, no real change there. Lely's doing his thing in fourth. He's got a comfortable gap now to Chica, nearly 3 seconds behind him in fifth. Then you've got Nelio in sixth, Spacey in seventh, only 8 tenths behind. Traction Dave's got a 2 second gap to make up. And Raikachu, there he is in ninth place, doing extremely well. Up in the top 10 with GT Jamie. So GT Jamie had a couple of issues at the start, if you remember. We saw him, definitely sure we saw him have a spin, which kind of ruined all the good work that he'd done. But he's been plugging away, and he's currently sat in the top 10, so well done him. And then we've got, I would say the evergreen, but we'll have a look, the pink Gamer Dad, who's got Michael and Crazies coming up to the back of him. So Gamer Dad, do what Hutch did. When they get there, do the right thing. Hutch is in 12th place. Marek is in 13th. Remember, Marek, a couple of laps ago, had to serve a drive-through for track limit violations. I Am Slow's currently in 14th. And then we've got Macatron, is 5 laps down. He's our reserve guy. But you know what? Hats off, Macatron. You haven't driven with these boys before. It's a quick group, as you are finding out. Oh, Michael's taken to the grass. That's going to allow Crazies to get right up on the back of him. Michael's going to want to try and get a tow into the S's here from Gamer Dad. Gamer Dad pulls out the way. He's not going to get involved. Crazies comes through as well into the Fogarty S's. We've got 3 minutes 20 seconds left of this race, so 3 laps I would suggest. Depending where's Graham. Graham's there. They're so evenly paced. Look, there's slightly different lines there. Again, they're both taking those different lines, thinking about that exit. Beautiful pink vehicle in the background. And this is your closest race. This is the closest. So we're going to go back on board. And we're going to have a look at it. We're going to have a look at it. Probably 2 laps left of the race, I would suggest. Danny Duran, great racing guys. Great COMMS, my teammate, doing a great job in the Ferrari. Yes, he is doing a great job in the Ferrari. There's been a lot of very, very good racing tonight, Danny. Good to have you with us. You missed the competition though. Next week, you have to get in there for that competition, mate. So let's just keep an eye. We'll watch the steering inputs of Crazies. We're going to keep an eye on that back end of Michael. Just see where she's lacking, if anywhere. I actually don't think she is. I think these two are pretty much on exactly the same pace. Half a second in it. They're both going to be sweating, there's no doubt about that. You can't race this close for this long without putting a lot of effort in. Look, Graham's swanning off 14 seconds down the road. Great drive from him. Great drive from him. That's close. Michael's gone defensive straight away. He knows he's under pressure. We've only got a couple of minutes left. Hard on the brakes. So great. Oh, Michael's. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold it, boys. Michael's ended up spinning out. It's got to be a tyre issue, man. Got to be a tyre issue. Right, where's fuel? It doesn't show. It won't show me that. So Michael ends up down in 3rd place now. That's really unfortunate for him. Really unfortunate for him. That battle seemed to go on for what, 35 minutes? If not, I mean, I'd say 35 minutes. That was a great battle. I mean, obviously Michael was battling really, really hard with Graham at the start, so maybe if he didn't change tyres, the fact that he was battling so hard with Graham took way more life out of those tyres than he anticipated it would do, and that's obviously then bitten him in the backside, so to speak, in the second part, because Crazies is up to 2nd place. Great drive from Crazies. Mr. Consistent. He doesn't really put a foot wrong, does he, ever? Nor does Graham. Nor does Michael. Nor does Lely, who's 4th. You know what? Nor does Chica, who's 5th. And then Spacey, you know, oh, Traction's had a spin. And SOP has stopped, not wanting to hit him. SOP, hats off to you. Great drive in there. Very good drive in there. Traction, maybe you should let him by. I think Traction is thinking about that. Raikachu in 9th. GT Jamie in 10th. And that's Graham just gone past him. So where are we? We're going to get one more lap in by the look of it then. No. Graham thought he was going to stop before the line. That was a bit naughty because that caused GT Jamie to go off. So Graham thought he would manage to get the car across the line just as the time ran out and then not have to do an extra lap. So I hope you've got enough fuel, Graham, for this lap. That's all I've got to say. Otherwise there'll be no real reason to do that. It's got a 14-second lead back to Crazies. Then we've got Michael, who's 6.8 behind. Lenny's coming up through the Melbourne, hairpin up towards Goddard's, and Chica's 2.7 behind him, so that's quite close. Spacey 6, Traction should be, he's got to be happy with 7th. Like, he's had some issues in this race, but he's not out of it, so he's still going to pick up some good points. Remember, this is an individual championship, so we've not got teams in this one. I got a feel for Nelio there. I really think he didn't take tyres, and now he's trying to get back past Traction. I think if I'll talk about it at the end of the race. Actually, I've got a little announcement for everybody, which will be interesting. So Graham's coming round the Melbourne Loop for the final time. Let's finish the race with him. Let's see what it's like to be a champ. Wow, a winner. On the brakes, turner in. Where's his fuel gauge? That's what I know. And there we go. Graham's coming across the line for the last time. He's going to take your race win. So, IR Graham, well done, IR Graham. Graham wins round 1 of the British GT Short Sprint Championship, 5-round championship, until we get to the update, and that was a good effort. Crazies brings it home in 2nd. Well done, Crazies. Michael in 3rd, unlucky Michael, but hey, it's a podium. You've got a pole and a podium. You can't really complain about that too much. Yeah, you can't really complain about that at all. Lenny is in 4th place. He looks like he's going to secure that. Georgie Priest, well done to the podium. Totally agree, Georgie. Have you been with us the whole time, mate? I'll be interested to know that. Chica looks like he's going to bring it home in 5th place. Great race from Chica. He's driven very consistently. Spacey in 6th. Again, just coming into Goddard's. I'm going to see that a lot, guys. And then Traction is in 7th with his mate Nelio just behind him. I can't see him diving in. One last shot at a positional change. That's not going to work. So Traction's going to come across 6th. Nelio 7th. Raikkonen, good drive from him considering he didn't set a time, remember, in qualifying. Don't think he's ever been in the Ferrari here either. So he's fought his way back from the back of the grid up to 8th. Well done to you. Gamer Dad 9th. Well done, Gamer Dad. Hutch says he's in the top 10, so if you are, well done, Hutch. Marek in 11th. These boys are still looking to finish, so these are positions that are on. So Hutch's aim was top 10. Looks like he is in top 10. Marek is 11th. I am slow 12th. Macatron. Oh, I'm slow. You're going to run out of fuel, buddy. Yeah, he is. He's going to run out of fuel. I am slow. He is now. Look at him, short shifted to 4th as Nelio comes past. Yeah, let's just see if he makes it. So Macatron 13th and Fresh Brizzle didn't finish the race. Obviously had some issues there. He caught us one of the spins. Look how much he's changing. I bet he's got his map on something silly as well. But there you go, guys. We will see if he crosses the line. What a great race. What a great first race we've had there. There's no second race this evening. As I say, the format has changed, so we now recuperate and start again. So next week, as part of this 5-race championship, as we just see, just out of curiosity really, if I'm slow can get across the line, we're at Donington Park next week. That's going to be pretty feisty. Then we're at Snetterton, then Brands, and then Silverstone. Who's up there? Traction Dave, I believe. Yeah, it looks like he's turned around. Come on. Come on, come on, I am slow. He's going to finish in the pits, is he? Come on, I am slow. That was a good slowdown lap. So, guys, that's it for this evening. I hope you enjoyed the show. I think that was a great action-packed show there. Nice change to the format. Some nice differences in the strategy. Congratulations to Lurchies for winning the competition. Free setup on the way to you. Thanks to everybody that watched. And obviously, keep an eye out on the channel. If you like what you're hearing, if you like what you're seeing, make sure you like the videos, subscribe if you want. But liking the videos really helped me. and let's try and get more people involved. That's what we're here to try and do. You can catch me on Tuesday. I'll be back to do comms for Tier 1 on Taco Tuesdays. So comms by Coops on Tuesdays, and then we'll be back here on Sunday. Keep your eyes out on my channel for Friday. Yeah, there's a little something that I've been putting together that's going to come out on Friday, and then we'll run weekly, which I think you guys will enjoy. So again, big congratulations to Graham, Crazies and Michael on the podium. Lenny, great drive. Chica, solid as always, mate. And then Spazey's Traction, Nelio, Rikachu and Jamie, they make up the top 10. Gamer Dad, Hutch, Merrick Mariola, I Am Slow, Macatron, Dark Horror, Fresh Brizzle. And there we go, guys. So, comms by Coops. We are done for this week. We shall see you all.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Certainly next week, but hopefully on Tuesday. Have a good one. Ciao.